Hey there everyone, and welcome to my first ever X Plus statue review. We'll be kicking things off with a fan favorite kaiju that never exactly got its big screen moment, the 30cm Bagan, brought to us by X Plus. Now Bagan is an interesting one. Once upon a time this was a kaiju with little to none merchandise. However, the last few years this has actually began to change because we've seen Bandai and X Plus who have both been giving the big guys some love. We're going to break this down in a few different sections: sculpt, paint apps, size, and ultimately our verdict. For starts, this Bagan statue is based off the 2022 Godzilla short. Now this isn't exactly the Super Nintendo design, which had a pretty distinctive and different tail, as opposed to this Bagan, which makes use of a lot of spikes, which run from the back of Bagan and begin spreading out, right before each side begins to meet, all of which builds up to one giant spike at the tip of the tail. Another aspect of the statue that wasn't part of the Super Nintendo Bagan is the fact that we have these little yellow details on the sides of the shoulders. So for the most part, the Godzilla Bagan overall is a nice hybrid of the '96 Godzilla movie studio tour Bagan, but with the colorations ranging from bronze, brown, silver, red, black, and yellow, which causes the statue to have a modernized feel of the '93 Bagan. Bagan's head comprises of 3 horns, and the most distinctive horn on the snout has a nice transition from gold to silver with a red underneath, almost making this horn seem reminiscent of a giant knife. And actually this material here is translucent. It's also nice to point out these bold demon looking red eyes. And returning to the side horns and the facial region, let's take in this amazing detail, where we see a nice transition from silver and black straight to gold on the forehead. Around the cheeks, we have plenty more metallic spikes, with the facial expression giving us this snarling look, showing off these teeth. We have this nice long neck with an interesting design, with quite the range. Rotate this guy around, and I'll go ahead and put my hand in frame so you get an idea of how broad this back is. Now for those of you that have never handled or purchased an X Plus statue, this is made out of a nice durable vinyl material. Not a whole lot of weight, however, it is a little heavier than the usual X Plus statue that I have handled in the past. Most of the weight of the statue appears to be geared towards the feet, so it helps balance the statue out, so you won't run into many issues with the statue tipping over or such. Our legs on Bagan have plenty of bulk, each with these 4 unique red spots, with black somewhat bleeding through. And these red areas will continue around the abs, the underside of the neck, underneath the tail, the palms, and finally at the bottom of the feet. Nextly, I wanted to give an in-depth look at these lower back spikes, which depart from the typical metallic look, but rather favor a black and bronze color. This guy is just insanely detailed, with different unique plates and spikes, detail that will have you running your fingers upon the texture, and constantly bringing something new to your attention that maybe you didn't notice before. Now this statue, there are no accessories or articulation. There are rare cases where maybe an X Plus statue might have arms that move, but don't count on it. But really, X Plus's forte is simply detail and sturdy figures that can take a fall. When the Bagan arrives, there will be minimal assembly. You'll find his tail nicely packaged in the back compartment of the styrofoam that safely packages figure up and gets it to your door. I highly advise that you heat the back end up the tail with a hairdryer. Otherwise, this guy is going to be a struggle, and I'd rather not hear of collectors breaking the horns of their Bagan trying to force the tail on in the process. It could happen, take my word. So let's run a quick size comparison to my other X Plus 30cm figures that I own. Godzilla 93, Mechagodzilla 3, Godzilla 1954, Godzilla 1962. Now unfortunately this guy is out of stock. X Plus North America offered this figure for pre-order back in October of 2024, and I could not miss the opportunity to own this figure, as I've been a huge Bagan fan since the time I first played Super Godzilla back in the 90s. And personally, I think it's amazing that the merch game is stepping up big time recently. Now, I didn't expect this to be cheap, but the base price checked in at $279.99. So here's the verdict. If you're a statue collector and favor extreme detail, this will be something you're gonna want. If you collect on the 25cm scale line, then you're probably gonna want to wait till maybe eventually X Plus might do that. But for now, this is all that's offered at 30cm. While Bagan hasn't appeared in a major Godzilla film yet, he's still a major part of Godzilla history, and it's great to see various companies like X Plus putting forth figures of this character, which is one of the coolest designs not to be used in a movie. This is a solid yes to this Bagan statue, and hopefully it gets another run for anybody that missed out on the pre-order opportunity back in October. And who knows what's in store for potential repaints, say a coloration closer to the Super Nintendo design, or maybe one that's closer to the Godzilla movie studio tour design, but for now, X Plus nailed it with the sculpted paint apps that are extremely faithful to the Godzilla Villain design. Let me know what you think of this Bagan statue, and what other companies you'd love to see roll out Bagan merch. Subscribe if you enjoy my content. Be sure to check out my movie reviews, toy reviews, and anything I've conducted on this channel. Finally, you guys have a great day. Catch you around. Peace.